very good evening and welcome to Verdict 2016. I'm Tracy Shilchi and this is the show where we get you all the latest from the election-bound states. And let's start with the headlines. Candidates begin filing nominations for assembly elections in Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Puducherry. Last day for filing nominations is 29th of April. Scrutiny on the 30th of April and single-phase polling to be held on May 16th. Two left activists are killed in post-poll violence in West Bengal's Burdwan district. Activists allegedly beaten up with lathis and iron rods by Trinamool Congress party workers. The TMC, though, denies the charges. And we throw the spotlight on Namakkal district in Tamil Nadu and focus on the plight of the poultry farmers. Rising prices have pushed them to the brink. Let's start with the news coming in from the south. The formal process leading up to Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Puducherry assembly elections started at 11 today with the issuance of the election notification. Filing of nominations began for 234 constituencies in Tamil Nadu, 140 constituencies in Kerala and 30 seats in Puducherry. Many prominent candidates from the main fronts submitted their nomination papers on the first day. The last day to submit nomination papers is the 29th of April and the scrutiny will be held the next day on the 30th. Candidates can then withdraw the nominations up to 2nd of May. However, filing of nomination papers by the candidates for the May 16 assembly polls will not be accepted tomorrow and the day after, which were declared as public holidays. All right, for more on the developments down south, we're joined by our correspondent Kriti Mishra, who's right now in Kotagiri in Tamil Nadu. Kriti, if you could give us an idea on, the notifications that took place today and also being, of course, in Tamil Nadu, the kind of challenges that the AIDMK government is facing now.
Well, that's right, Tracy. The election process to elect 234 members to Tamil Nadu Assembly would begin very soon. The candidates would file nominations. The last date for filing nomination would be April 2nd, and for withdrawal would be the last day for filing nominations would be April 29th, and last day for withdrawal would be May 2nd. Remember, this is the first time that the candidates or the aspirants would have to submit 3 photographs as well. And the Chief Electoral Officer also said that after filing nominations, the candidates would have to pledge that they would not give money to the voters. This, of course, is not mandatory, and it's just a mere awareness drive. And as far as the challenges for AIADMK are concerned, well, the biggest challenge would be the allegations of corruption. The second would be there's deficit of power in this state. And the third being how the young voters would say in which direction would they oscillate. Over to you, Tracy.
And Kriti, very quickly, the DMK also using that unfortunate incident that took place at the rally of Jayalalitha, 2 of those workers dying, one of them, of course, due to sunstroke. They're, of course, trying to use that against Jayalalitha, claiming that, she comes on this chopper and she can only land during the daytime. And that's, of course, causing a lot of problems. Is that turning up to be something big? Is that something that people are talking about?
Well, yes, Tracy, DMK has upped the ante against the incumbent chief minister, and they've also approached the National Human Rights Commission, urging that the commission should take cognizance of alleged gross human rights violations in her rallies. They've also alleged that her rallies take place under harsh sun, and also there is lack of facilities like water and sanitation. They've been alleging that up till now 5 AIADMK members have died. But Jayalalitha, of course, refusing all those allegations. And Jayalalitha has also said that she would give compensation to the bereaved families. But of course, that can happen only once the election is over and a model code of conduct ceases to exist. Over to you, Tracy.
All right, we'll leave it there for now. Thank you so much for joining us, Kriti, on those developments coming in from Tamil Nadu. Meanwhile, let's head on to some more news, in fact, that we're getting. And this is, of course, from West Bengal. 2 left activists were killed in post-poll violence in Burdwan district. The cadre workers were beaten up with lathis and iron rods by armed men on Thursday night in Lodhna village in Khandaghosh Assembly constituency while returning home after polling duty. The workers were allegedly killed by Trinamool Congress party workers. However, the TMC has denied all the charges. The twin killings follow the murder of another left activist in Murshidabad district on Thursday during the third phase of the state assembly polls.
It's not a clash, it's an attack, deliberate attack to fulfill the wish of the chief minister, just to reinforce the reign of terror which they were perpetrating for last 3-4 years. Whatever they planned to rig the election or to just ransack the polling thing, they could not. So naturally, immediately after the election, they have mounted attack, not only in Bardhaman but in several parts of the states.
Trinamool Congress is getting desperate and they are violent. They know that they can affect the electoral process only by violence. So therefore they are resorting to loot, murder and arson. In
तृणमूल कांग्रेस सोचे थे बहुत रिगिंग करेंगे, छप्पा चलाएंगे, लेकिन चुनाव आयोग ने इतना कड़ाई से चुनाव कराया जो उन्होंने बूथ का आसपास तक जा नहीं पाया। इसी का हताशा से उन्होंने गुंडागर्दी शुरू की और चुनाव का बाद भी शुरू किए, चुनाव का समय भी अनावश्यक बात लेके शुरू किए।
All right, so let's discuss the situation that's developing there and how much of an impact is it going to be on the TMC campaign. We've got Manas Banerjee, who is a special correspondent with Dainik Agradut, joining us in studio this evening. Manas, talking, like I just said, incidents like these, unfortunate of course, but not of course a rarity in West Bengal. We have seen poll violence that takes place for years, decades in fact, and this is just a continuation, unfortunately, of how things are in West Bengal.
In fact, the fourth phase also ended in violence, booth looting and the killings of and rigging of the booths. What happened, it is the continuous process. It was actually passed on to Trinamool Congress by the earlier government, CPIM or left-front government.
Yes.
They ruled 34 years. They did the same thing.
Yes.
But now Mamata Banerjee, when she came to power, she is following the same footsteps of the CPIM government. She should be actually particularly perfect, and I should change, since she came on the issue of the changing of the government and changing of the face of the state.
Yes.
But she couldn't. So what happened yesterday, actually I've seen already 3 persons have been killed. One in Domkul. Domkul was actually a stronghold of CPIM and Congress.
Okay.
This is all along it is a stronghold. Knowing fully well that Mamata Banerjee, her party will be defeated everywhere in Domkul, they started this looting, ransacking and murdering, bomb blasting. Enormous violence was created, situation was created there. Anyway, now CPM has demanded, left front has demanded the repolling of 15 booths in Domkul area. And another incident, another 2 incidents happened in Bardhaman. The people, 2 persons have been killed in Bardhaman.
Yes.
This is going on. This is actually the Purana tradition. That's the old tradition is going on now also.
It's an unfortunate tradition, really.
Even
Yes.
then, I think actually the vote percentage was very much bigger in comparison to last year. It is an indication, if it's a general indication, that anti-incumbency, if it is so the more votes polling means more anti-incumbency. But I don't think so. Booth rigging and booth loot capturing also there. How much votes they are captured?
Yes.
Chappa vote, that is false voting was also there.
Yes.
But I don't think so. But Mamata, I think anyway she will manage the whole show.
Okay.
But it is not actually, in true sense, it is not voting in West Bengal. It is a tamasha actually.
That's unfortunate,
fair
really.
election.
Because the amount of numbers that are coming out, the kind of percentage that we're seeing, it's so encouraging. If you actually look at it in the right way, in a positive way, it's so encouraging. You would think
Voters
people are trying to...
Voters are not, they are not by coming to the booths, they are not able to come to the booths. They have got no actually right to vote for the light candidate. 25th also another voting.
Yes.
30th also another voting.
If I was going to get to you that, Manas, about the next phases, what is going to be crucial according to
Now they have complained more than, you see, I think West Bengal will get a chance in Guinness Book, and more than 2,900 complaints have been lost yesterday.
Okay.
So in earlier also nearly 2,000. So this is the highest number of complaints lodged in one single Bidhan Sabha area,
Yes.
Bidhan Sabha election. So that has been already booked in the Guinness Book, I think. So it is recorded in the Guinness Book. So this same thing, and Election Commission says, assured this time also, that we will, this time at least we will take some special measures.
All right. Thanks so much, Manas Banerjee, for joining us and giving us an
Thank you
idea. What is
so
it we can look forward to in West Bengal? Unfortunately, getting into Guinness books, but definitely not for something good, for an infamous incident. Meanwhile, adding colour to the assembly elections in Bengal is the Lok Janshakti party that has fielded a transgender against Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. Bobby Haldar, who is contesting on a ticket from the Ramvilas Paswan-headed party, is among two transgenders, the first such candidates from their community in the state.
Meet Bobby Haldar, a transgender who is extremely popular in her community. Bobby is the LJP candidate for the Bengal Assembly elections. Pitted against Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, Bobby is upset that in election after election, no party is interested in her community's cause. Bobby wants to change this and bring transgenders into the mainstream.
किसी को घर में जाता है तो आदमी लोग देख के हमको घिन करता है, कोई आवाज़ी मारता है, कोई समझ में तो हम लोग नहीं जा सकता है, कोई सुसाइड में हम लोग जा नहीं सकता है, हम लोगों को ऐसा फैसिलिटी नहीं है, यही सरकार को हमको फैसिलिटी देना चाहिए.
Bengal has a population of 20,000 transgenders. There is no separate government policy for them. Until this day, their main source of employment is dancing and singing at weddings and celebrations.
हम लोगों के लिए नहीं हुआ, ठीक है, ये हुआ है सब लोगों के लिए. हम जितना जनरल लोग हैं सबके लिए हम लोग है.
इलेक्शन जो है इससे हम देखना चाहते हैं कि आदमी हमें कितना प्यार करता है और मुख्यमंत्री जी हमें कितना सहयोगिता करता है. हम उनके साथ है, उनके खिलाफ नहीं है, लेकिन हमारा अटेंशन के लिए हम ये काम कर रहे हैं.
Bobby has a tough task ahead. While she may not have the numbers to swing the vote, her participation is a powerful symbolic act to make the cause of transgenders heard by the mainstream. This is Pranav Goswami's report for Rajya Sabha TV, Kolkata.
Now with that, a quick break here, but still ahead, the focus on the plight of poultry farmers in Tamil Nadu's Namakkal district. Details in a bit.
Saina Nehwal, the first Indian to win a medal in badminton at the Olympics. The world number 2 ranked player is also the first Indian to win the World Junior Badminton Championships and the first Indian to win a Super Series tournament. Saina Nehwal in fact completed a hat-trick Super Series titles in 2010. That same year, she became the first Indian singles player to reach the final of the year-ending Super Series finals, defeating two-time All-England champion and former world number 1 Tine Bound in the semis.
Wake up to a complete roundup of news from India and abroad. Politics, strategy, business, sports. Keen analysis to kickstart your day. Watch Breakfast News weekdays at 8 a.m. on Rajya Sabha Television.
Welcome back. Let's get you more news from Tamil Nadu, where Namakkal district is India's second biggest egg-producing region. It in fact produces 3 crore eggs per day. However, the rising cost of fodder ingredients has pushed poultry farmers into doldrums. All the political parties are striving to amass political support for poultry farmers ahead of the elections.
Namakkal has made Tamil Nadu the country's second largest egg-producing centre, Andhra Pradesh being the first. India is the third largest chicken egg-producing country in the world, next only to China and the United States. India produces around 75,000 million eggs a year. About 80% of the layer farms in Tamil Nadu are concentrated in and around Namakkal. However, poultry farms in Namakkal are dwindling now.
அதாவது இந்த வெயில் காலத்தில் நாமக்கல் மாவட்டத்தில் இந்த வெயில் காலத்தில் கோழி பண்ணை ரொம்ப சிரமமாக இருக்கும். அதாவது இந்த அடிக்கடி இந்த வெயில் காலத்தில் அடிக்கடி இந்த பாகரை யூஸ் பண்ணுறோம். இந்த பாகரை யூஸ் பண்ணலைன்னா கோழி வந்து நிறையா சாகும்.
100 poultry farms have been shut down in the last 1 year in Namakkal. About 1,000 poultry farms in Namakkal district have faced a total loss of 1,500 crore rupees over the last 3 years due to the steep hike in production cost and the drop in demand for the Namakkal eggs. An increase of the price of soya meal, a key ingredient, by almost 1,000 per quintal has left many small players worried. With the dwindling margins, banks are also reluctant to lend.
We want poultry as a agriculture sector, because agriculture sector is rate of interest is low, but poultry's rate of interest is high. We also wanted forward trading in soya and maize.
Cutting across party lines, leaders are asserting better deals for poultry farmers if voted to power. Assurances of establishment of a separate welfare board for poultry farmers are also being voiced.
Whole farmers, we give the election manifesto. We are whole loans are dissolved from government. When they are getting from government's loans, they are all are give subsidy.
Already CM Jayalalitha Madam already helping for 300, 500 powers of energy, powers of water supply, powers of helping all poultry farms laborers.
Tamil Nadu accounts for 20% of eggs produced in India, of which 80% comes from the Namakkal region. Almost 95% of the export of shell eggs from India is from this state. More than 1,000 million eggs are exported, mostly to Afro-Asian countries, from India, of which 95% comes from Namakkal. Namakkal's eggs are in great demand abroad, and the government must mitigate problems like exploitation by traders, non-availability of superior hybrid layers, and frequent disease outbreaks to propel the poultry farming industry.
The export quality eggs from Namakkal face a lot of competition from countries like China, Pakistan and Iran. The Namakkal poultry industry hopes to gain firmer ground in the US, Korea and Japan. However, factors like lack of scientific knowledge of rearing and quality preparation of feed have emerged as big deterrents. Hand-holding support by the next government may bail out this industry. Reporting from Namakkal with camera person Prem, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
And continuing with our focus on Tamil Nadu, the severe flash floods in Chennai last November has been called the largest natural disaster anywhere in the world in terms of economic losses. And in Tamil Nadu, they are expected to leave an equally big impact in this year's assembly elections.
The recent floods that ravaged Chennai is a huge election issue this time around. The rains were among the heaviest in the last 100 years, and the state government claims it was only its timely action that contained the damage.
Now the major problem in Tamil Nadu is corruption. So very boldly, very sincerely, we will meet the people and we will face the people, and people will favor us.
The fact remains that the government has ignored key lessons. In the last 30 years, Chennai city has seen floods at least 4 times. Despite these, there have been no attempts to improve the city's drainage system. As a result, no less than 200 people have died in the floods. Property worth 20,000 crore rupees has also been damaged.
We are very upset on the fundamentals not being met and not being addressed at the specific point in time, and it took a lot of time for the present government also to take steps to rectify it. And moreover, if we were to look at the other parties as concerned, people are very much concerned about the timely help which was not rendered.
The government found itself in the middle of a raging controversy when even the distributed flood relief materials carried the Chief Minister's pictures on them.
As far as Chennai is concerned, floods is one of the recent issues that has affected a large number of people. But as far as the Tamil Nadu is concerned, there are 2-3 important issues. One is corruption at large level. Then lack of development.
Chennai had a record rainfall of 452.4 millimeters in November 1976. Last year's floods were no less severe, with as much as 264 millimeter rainfall being recorded in the first 24 hours itself. The accompanying lack of preparedness made matters worse. Now it remains to be seen just what effect will the November rains have in the May elections. With Ravindra Sharan, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now it's time for our poll snippets in the section that we call Polpuri. Mayawati's Bahujan Samaj Party will contest the Puducherry Assembly polls alone. The state unit chief, D. Langa Ravelu, in fact released the first list of candidates for 8 constituencies on Thursday. Party President Mayawati is also expected to address rallies in Puducherry. Meanwhile, the BJP has released its election manifesto in Tamil Nadu. The party has promised Jallikattu and the implementation of prohibition of liquor in the state. BJP has also promised waiver of all loans availed by farmers. Union Minister Nitin Gadkari released the party manifesto labelled as Vision Document in the presence of the state leaders led by Tamil Nadu Party Chief T. Soundarajan. The Election Commission has ordered the transfer of the Managing Director of Tamil Nadu Arasu Cable TV Corporation. The action was taken after complaints were made by several political parties in the state that TSC TV was deliberately disturbing the telecasts run by political parties. More than 69 crore rupees of illegal cash has been seized in the 5 poll-bound states. As per the latest figure of cash seizures, 30 crores has been seized in Tamil Nadu, 13 in West Bengal, while 12 crores was seized in Assam. In Kerala, the seizure is about nearly 12 crores. The corresponding figure for Puducherry is about 71 lakhs. And that's all we have for you on Verdict 2016 for today. Thanks so much for joining us.